For today's lesson, we're going to revisit some word problems from Chapter 2. In Chapter 2, we worked with word problems that required multi-steps involving multiplication and division. Today we are going to continue working with word problems that require us to use strategies to solve multi-step problems. Some word problems require the remainder to be part of your answer. Let's take a look at this example. Rena has a roll of ribbon 250 centimeters long. She cuts it into a number of pieces that measures 20 centimeters each. How many pieces does she cut? What is the length of the remaining ribbon? Let's break this word problem apart by identifying the important details. The first important detail in this word problem is that Rena has a piece of ribbon that measures 250 centimeters long. Another important detail is that she is cutting her ribbon into pieces that each measure 20 centimeters each. This information is going to help us figure out how many equal pieces she cuts. Because the information states that we are cutting the original piece of ribbon she has into tinier pieces, this indicates that we need to divide. Once we divide 250 by 20, we will find that she cuts 12 even pieces and that you are left with a remainder. We're going to include this remainder in the answer because the remainder answers the second question. Lastly, to provide the statements for our questions, we can now answer how many pieces does she cut. Rena cuts the ribbon into 12 pieces. And what is the length of the remaining ribbon? The length of the remaining ribbon is 10 centimeters. Let's take a look at another word problem that is similar to the one we just saw. This one reads, a bin of potatoes weigh 100 pounds. The potatoes are packed into bags weighing 15 pounds each. How many bags of potatoes are there? And how many pounds are left? This is a multi-step problem that requires us to answer two questions. Let's identify the first important detail. We know there is a bin that has potatoes and we know it weighs 100 pounds. We also know that those same potatoes are being packed into bags that only measure 15 pounds each. This is also our clue to divide. There are two questions to answer for this word problem. The first, how many bags of potatoes are there? And the second, how many pounds are left? The second question indicates that there will be a remainder, which we will need to include in our final answer. Now to divide 100 pounds by 15 pounds to get our answer. We now know that 15 can only go into 100 6 times evenly. This is then going to give us a remainder of 10. So now, to fulfill our final response of how many bags of potatoes are there and how many pounds are left, there are 6 bags of potatoes and 10 pounds of potatoes are left. Those were two examples of how to solve a word problem that requires you to use division and to also allow the remainder to be part of your answer. This concludes Part 1 of Chapter 2.7 Word Problem Review. Stay tuned for tomorrow's Part 2.